Give them what they need, God, in every way. We thank you for those that are here. We thank you for those that are waiting still to come. We thank you for those that couldn't come for whatever the reason is. God, that we know that wherever you are, God, and two or three are gathered, those spirits will emerge together. And God, we pray that you will lead us and guide us. And on this day, when we leave, we'll be able to go back and tell our friends and family, we missed it. Oh, what a time we had in Bible study on New Day. But it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 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 So as we come to this Bible study, of course, it seems as if the enemy is on the attack again. It seems as if the enemy is always busy and he will never stop doing his job. It always amazes me that Christians take the day off. People who say they love God and all of that, they'll take the day off and let the enemy have his way. It's almost as if we need to be fighting every day against what he's trying to do. On yesterday, I guess it was, we seen that a gentleman ran over people. And, you know, I think we've had this discussion before. What makes people do evil stuff? What makes people want to just go out and kill people for no reason? And then, in the words of his culture or his language, he spoke, God be great. And so we're thinking, how do you lift up God's name when you go out and kill people? Because it seems to me you're trying to do God's work because you're wanting to kill people to make a statement. It always amazed me as I was coming up and I used to hear Flip Wilson say all the time, the devil made me do it. And I remember I had did something and it got back to my grandma. I was, you know, coming up they would say you mannish. And when you got to a certain age, they would say you was mannish. And so somebody, a relative, asked me about where my grandmother was, and she said, where's your grandma? And I said, I don't know. Don't ask me no questions, and I won't tell you no lies. And she asked me again, and I said, I told you I don't know. Don't ask me no questions, and I won't tell you no lies. And so I need you to go take your seat, sir. Go take your seat. So I went on to. Thank you. Anyway, so Grandma got back to me with that. She said to me, did you say that? Excuse me, man. So I said to her, I said it, but, and she said, why did you say it? And I said, well, the devil made me do it. And she said, well, I'll tell you what. Since the devil made you do it, then the devil gonna make me do what I'm about to do. I'm about to whoop your behind. So I had to take that whooping. And she said that you have to take responsibility for whatever you do. She said, because the devil's gonna always present himself to you, but what you do next is gonna be most important. Because the devil is going to attack us all the time. And that's going to lead us into our lesson today. If you have your Bibles, turn to the book of Ephesians. Church of Ephesus, the book of Ephesians. And our dear brother Paul is at it again in his teaching and his making things plain to the different churches that he was trying to build and trying to help them get to the next stage. Ephesians, the 6th chapter. And let's jump into verses 10 through 13. If somebody will just read 10 through 13, we'll start right there. So Paul presents this to us as a subtitle, the whole armor. Our lesson title today is going to be When the Enemy Attacks. So somebody will pick up verse 10, read through verses 13 for that. 10 through 13. Okay, all right.
Be strong in the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Be empowered. Draw your strength. That strength which is boundaries might go back. Put on God's whole armor. The armor of the every armed soldier which God supplies, that you may be able successfully to stand up against the straightest and the least deceit of the devil. For we are not wrestling question, but I've been in all of the physical opponents, but against
Principalities? Oh, you and what?
that's the question.
Oh yeah, this proportionate.
The power against the spirit who are the world ruler of the present times. Against the spirit are wickedness in heavenly supernatural speed. Therefore, put on God's complete armor that we may be able to resist and stand your ground on the evil day of nature, and having done all Christ's commands, stand firm in your place. Stand therefore, hold your breath, having strengthened belt of truth around your loins, and having put on breastplate of integrity and a moral resolute and right standing with God.
I'm straight, but I'm
Well,
straight.
you said 17, right?
You can go ahead to 17. That's all.
Okay, and having sharper feet, which preach proposition of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, with which you will be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the weapon of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God.
Okay. So that's verse 1 through 10 through 17 and 18 through 20 says, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, being watchful to the end with all preservation, supplications for all the saints, and for me, that utterance may be given to me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mysteries of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador, and chains, that in it I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. So, in this lesson, it is very important for us to take note of what Paul is telling us here. And if you turn to your lesson sheet there, the lesson is, what do you do? And our title for today is When the Enemy Attacks. And as I said once again, the lesson is, what do you do? So Paul is making it plain what we should do, because it's a key verse there that we use to understand, and that's verse number 11. Paul says that when the enemy attacks, this is what you do. You put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Now think about that. Has anybody in here ever been attacked by by the devil, and you knew it was the devil? I mean, you don't have to give no examples, but you have. Can you just say, I knew it was the devil who came after me? And, if we can be honest, a lot of times we fail. And I know some of y'all are a little bit younger than me, so y'all may not have been tempted as many times as I have. So you may not have been as tempted, as many times as I have, because I'm just a little bit younger than you. But I can truly say that ever since almost that 8-year-old experience that I had with, telling my aunt that, I don't know where grandma is, and don't ask me no questions, I won't tell you no lies. I didn't think that was such a bad thing, but it was almost the speech. It was almost the way I presented it that became a bad thing. And I remember all of my life being tested by the enemy. But I never recognized why. I never understood, how. I never understood when, and I never understood what to do to protect myself. But in this scripture right here, it is very important as Christians that we learn this and apply it to our daily life, because you just said that you've been tested before. Now, I'm almost as sure to say to you that if you've been tested before, you will be tested again. I say that the enemy does not let up no matter how old you are. The reason why he attacked older folk a lot, because they can't run as fast. They can't get out the way. So he just stand there and jump on them, and they take it and they pass it right on. And then he usually attacks younger folk, like young deers who've been hurt or something like that. He attacks them because they ain't paying attention. Our young folk, they always doing whatever they want to do. They don't even know the enemy is looking to use them and destroy their lives. And first thing Paul says to us, be strong in the Lord. I don't understand why Christians, we become punk Christians or weak Christians. We always crying, woe is me. Oh Lord, this didn't happen to me. This, that, this, and that. Well, what are you crying for? When we serve a God who's able to do everything, do anything except fail. It's almost like having a father, and you know that whatever happens, he's going to protect you. He's not going to let you go hungry. He's not going to let nobody beat you up. And if they do beat you up, he said, don't worry about it. Vengeance is mine. So a lot of times, we don't even have to fight the devil in a physical way, or we don't have to fight the devil using cuss words. Now, I told you, I'm trying to forget about the cuss words. I still remember some of them. I try to get them out of my mind, but every now and then. Now, Miss Leela said that I didn't say that. So Miss Leela understands how that enemy works. Felicia, come on in the building. We are glad to see you today. We're just happy to see you moving around. Thank God for your presence today. Thank God for your presence. Don't y'all give her a hand clap of praise. Being in God's house. Thank God that God has made it success for you and everything. What? Oh my God. I know you ain't in your right mind yet. That medicine you still got you cheering for the Denver Broncos. But anyway, but Paul tells us that what we're not careful to understand, that in that verse 12, he says that we struggle not against flesh and blood, but we struggle against the rulers and against the authorities and the powers of the dark world and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realm. Now, we already talked about that 3 or 4 weeks ago, that God allowed evil stuff to happen. We already seen how the serpent approached Eve. And I believe, just in my theological thinking, that God allows us to have situations to bring us closer to Him. Because like I said, if you know that there's some bullies out there on the street, you're going to go get your daddy to walk with you to make sure that when you walk through those bullies, that your father's going to be there to protect you. So this is what Paul is saying, that we're going to struggle against some things, but when we are struggling against those things, we have a source that will get us through. Now, when I thought about, it says we struggle not against flesh and blood, but against rulers and authorities and powers of the dark world. So that means there's something lurking in the atmosphere that causes us to fall into traps. Now, we said earlier that all of us have been tempted. I know I have. You know, I remember when I was selling drugs, and I had decided that I did not want to sell drugs anymore. And there was this particular drug dealer. He wanted to make sure that I continued to sell drugs. So as much as I told him I didn't want to do it, every week he would bring me something. He would bring me some drugs and say, man, yeah, sell this, man, you ain't ready to quit yet. And it always would come when a light bill was due. I had made up in my mind, I'm not going to touch no more drugs, I'm not going to do it. But it almost seemed like the devil had told him that the light bill was due or the car payment was due, and here he come like a check in the mail. And I would say to myself, man, I ain't want to sell no more drugs, but I need this. I need this because the light bill due. And I couldn't figure out how this gentleman knew. You know, he was a good guy. I mean, but he didn't know every time he came to me, he was messing me up. Now, evidently, it was helping him. That's how the devil works. The devil will do things to benefit him. He ain't worried about you. If he can knock you off your block, if he can keep you from coming to Bible study, if he can keep you from coming to church, if he can keep you from being nice, he wants to do that. You know, he's not going to come and play nice with you and, you know, high five you and give you all this praise. He'll give you praise, but on the while, he's setting you up for the failure. And I said, now, is there something I can't see? Evidently it is. Because if there's a good spirit that we can't see, there has to be a bad spirit as well. Because spirits, that's how we operate. We are spiritual beings. We live in the natural, but we should be spiritual beings that allows our spirits to see what the enemy is up to. And as Paul says that we put on the whole armor, and he gave us some what those armors was. But let's look at why does the enemy do what he do to us. Let's look at it. Why do you think the enemy attacks you? I mean, somebody, why do you think that the devil messes with you? I mean, you know, his job is, as it says, to kill and to destroy. If God made you and he said you were good, the enemy is to be totally opposite of that. The enemy wants to prove to you and to God that you're no good. Just what he told Job. What did the enemy say to Job? The enemy told God that the only reason why Job is good because he got everything. He said, but if you let me have him, he will turn his back on you and curse you. So, and that was a test. But the enemy had made it plain, the reason why I'm here to get Job is to destroy him. But God says you cannot kill him. God agreed that you can destroy him, but you cannot kill him. And there's a difference between being destroyed and not dying. Because I know for sure I've been destroyed but didn't die. Because I've been shot, I've been talked about, I've been facing years in prison, I've been in an abusive marriage, I've been in situations where the enemy totally destroyed my life. He didn't kill me, but I almost wish I was dead. When I got away from that situation, you know, you ever seen a dog in a fight with another dog, and that dog who lost, when he got away, he was bragging, and looking back at that other dog, he was praying that he got out of there, and that dog let him go and did not come for him again. And that's how the enemy does to us. The enemy will not stop when he finds your weaknesses. And that leads us to, how does the enemy find out how to get us? Well, it tells us, in your weaknesses. When you're weak, that's when the enemy actually searches you out. The enemy searches you out when you're weak, because he knows in that weakness you're not paying attention. And that weakness sometimes comes in the facts of sickness. You know, when you're sick, you're kind of not paying attention to what's going on. You know, you're sitting back and the enemy's like, well, they're sick. Let me make it hard for them to get well because they don't believe they can get well. put negative thoughts in their mind so they can increase their sickness. Because when you're sick, the best thing to do is think positive. The Bible tells us that we should look to the hills from whence our help comes from. Don't look at your friends. Don't look at your family. Don't always listen to negative talk, because that will make you even sicker. I know for sure my wife is so upbeat, she's so positive in her situation, that's helping heal her body. Because God has placed these things inside of us that works along with our spirit. So if our spirit is up and running and well, then that helps our attitude, that helps our physical condition, because I know that sometimes certain things will make me sad or make me mad. You know, I'm just going to be honest. I don't like confusion. I don't like stuff to be out of order. And when I walk into something that's confusing, or when stuff is out of order, it messes with my spirit. The devil really know how to do me. It used to be, and I'm being honest because we're family, certain things I couldn't deal with, so in order to deal with them, I would get me a bottle. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all don't know nothing about that. I get me a bottle of one of them good guys. Jim Beam, Jack Daniel, or, Jose. That was my friend. Jose. I love Jose. Now, Jose would come when I needed a friend. Because it seemed like Jose knew that I was having a bad day. And he would be sitting there waiting on me to come in. He said, listen, you people got on your nerves today. Jose, how you know that? Take a drink. Let's talk about it. I'm thinking, golly, how you know that, Jose? And all the while, oh yeah. Now tell me some more. And that's all Jose want to do. We want to get in a conversation. And before you know it, you done drunk all Jose up. And then he's looking at you now, how you feel? Same old problem. But then you mad. You mad 2 reasons. Jose gone, and you still got the problem. And you looking for Jose, you're like, man, I thought you were going to help me out. Like, well, you feel a little bit better, don't you? I'm all right for the next hour if I can stand up, if I can keep my head up. But when I wake up, that same problem is there. It's there. But Paul said that you got to stand firm. And he said, first you should put on the belt of truth. When you understand what the truth is, can't nobody tell you nothing. Sport Coach Willie, and I keep on saying it all the time, he cannot lie to you. He can't make you feel good about yourself. When you know he ain't nothing, when you know he got a woman on the side, and you that side trick too, he know all these things about you. Ain't nothing he gonna try to do to you gonna be good. I don't know why, and then I ain't gonna leave Miss Peggy out. She just as bad. She just as bad. Sport Coach Willie and Miss Peggy are always up to something. And they always want somebody who don't belong to them. They always want to mess up a good situation. There's some good women and good men that probably can do good by themselves. But Sport Coach Willie make them think that your life is so much better because you got me every now and then to come knock on your door. Every now and then I can come through. What you doing? Let me holler at you for a minute. He just like Jose. Put you to sleep, you wake up tomorrow, and you got the same situation. And then if he ain't no good Sport Coach Willie, he ain't even, you ain't getting nothing out of it. You ain't getting nothing out of it. You just got a good night, and that's it. You wake up in the morning, you still got a headache, because Jose and Sport Coach Willie came together. It's almost like them two come together, because when Sport Coach Willie come, he bring Jose with him. Hey girl, drink a little bit of this with me. We both gonna feel good. Next thing you know, you sitting there, Jose didn't got you, Sport Coach Willie didn't got you, and you trying to figure out, God Almighty, how did I know? How did I let myself get into it? Well, you was not paying attention. Paul said that you need to find a way to put that belt of truth around your waist, because when you see him, you know, no, not today. I know you lied. I know you ain't mine. I know we ain't going to make nothing out of this, and I ain't got time. I know the truth about you. And when you understand the truth about things, you won't mess with it. See, because we'll take up stuff and think it's good for us because it's good to us. We'll do that. Sometimes we hide our pains in different other things. But Paul says you got to put that belt of truth on, understanding that that person is a liar. That situation is a liar. You know, I say people will get involved in stuff and try to make themselves feel better. When you know something ain't right, why you click up with them? Why hook up with a group that you know ain't doing the right thing? You know, it's like anybody who joins the Ku Klux Klan, they know what they about. They know that ain't no good group. So if you hook up with them, you are not working in truth. And then it takes you over to the breastplate of righteousness. You know right from wrong. You ain't had to, if you never read this Bible, something in your heart has already taught you what right and wrong is. And my son, he can't even read the Bible good. But some stuff he knows is wrong. And I can tell you why I know he knows it's wrong, because he's looking to see who's looking at him. He's looking to see when even sometimes he creep in the room. And I'm like, why are you creeping? Why are you creeping? And I know we're supposed to be doing it. My daughter, as soon as she's doing something, she see you coming, she'll throw it down. I'm like, why are you doing that? Why you hiding? Because you know it's wrong. The breastplate of righteousness, all these things are built within us. We were built to be warriors. We were built to fight against the devil without even fighting physically. You don't have to go out there and shoot the devil. You protect yourself, but you ain't got to be as aggressive as he is. I even appreciate my wife today on the way over here. She had a phone call. And she handled it so elegant and so nicely. I was about to snatch the phone and go off. I mean, I was. On my way to Bible study, he go to him and then jumped all on me because this man on the phone, and I can almost hear him, you know, being aggressive towards my wife. So the first thing the devil told me as a man, you don't let that dude talk, you don't get the phone. But she handled it in a righteous way. She put on that breastplate of righteousness and truth and talked the man down as sweet and nice. Me? Shoot, I about ready because I wanted the phone. I wanted to go off and let the enemy tear me up. That's what he'll do. The enemy comes in a way that's so cunning, you're trying to figure out where he comes from. And that takes us to when. When does he come? And I got there, he comes daily. The enemy don't take no day off. You know, especially people think, well, Sunday, I'm going to be all right. Don't you know that's the day the enemy is loading his gun up? Because he didn't watch you at church confess the Lord. He didn't watch you at church cry a little bit. He didn't watch you shout. He didn't watch you praise. He didn't watch you tell folks, oh, I'm going to have a good week. Oh, this is going to be my best week ever. Oh, this is my season. Then they say, okay, wait till I get you outside. Wait till you get outside.
You know, sometimes you don't get outside.
Well, come on. You right? Before you get that last hug in. That's right, that last hug, somebody got a knife in your back. Kill it. Set you off. Set you off. The preacher and preach. Oh my God. Oh Lord Jesus, let's pray this off of here now. Let's get him out of here. But the enemy will set you up like that. And the thing I say is, when is daily. In our daily lives, we have disappointments. We have setbacks. We have all these things come up, and we don't even recognize it's the enemy doing it. I declare to you, I've seen where I woke up one morning just as happy as can be. I have told myself, this is going to be a good day. I'm listening to my gospel music. God, next thing you know, the battery dead in my car. Got to get some cuss words out there right there. I mean, just battery going dead is enough to say God, you know. God, that's that. And then the enemy, you know, some things happen naturally, you know, but the enemy takes advantage of it. You know, my pastor used to say that if you don't give your tithe, then often your washing machine gonna break that hole. But what happens when you done tithe, you done did everything that week, and your washing machine still break down? And the person who didn't give nothing that week, they ain't even come to church, they steady washing clothes. Your washing machine's broken, everything. But you're trying to figure out how that is the enemy taking advantage of the situation. See, some stuff happening, it ain't got nothing to do with the enemy. The enemy don't make your washing machine break down. He just take advantage of your washing machine breaking down because he know that's going to set you back. He know that's going to be a discomfort. He know that's going to mess up your train of thinking. You out there, all of a sudden, bam, somebody hit your car. Whoa. Now the enemy said, I got him now. I know he loved that old brown car he got. And that car tore up. He mad and everything. Let me use it. So you didn't cuss the person out, didn't hit you. And then get what? You mad the rest of the day. You mad. Miss Vivian said 2 days. You like, I'm mad all month. And if it was my favorite car, I ain't never getting over it. I had a car right now, somebody wrecked, and I'm still mad. Like somebody stole my bike when I was a kid, and every time I see a man on the 10-speed, I'm mad. I'm mad at the man on the 10-speed, and he had nothing to do with it. It was 20 years ago. But the enemy know how to come in your life and mess situations up.
I almost got me out here, my freedom still. I'm better.
The enemy said, well,
But I made it.
the enemy probably said, if I can get, okay, her battery messed up, I might can get her to say some cuss words. I might can get her to say some cuss words. She's going to be mad about that. But
I was when I was asleep.
the thing about, Paul talked about in the place you have to put the feet, make sure your feet is filled with readiness, because sometimes you got to run away from the enemy. You can't fight the enemy because he's too powerful. He is too powerful. Sometimes you're going to have to get up and get away from him. Because sometimes you'll get hooked up with people, you'll get hooked up in groups and situations and stuff, and the enemy is in there, and if you don't remove yourself from it, it'll get on you. You know, the Bible says where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, the devil says the same thing. Just like now, all of us start cussing in here. Next thing you know, Hayes cussing and Dave's cussing, then everybody walking up the street cussing because we cussing them out. You see how the enemy do it? He hooks up all those things together. If I cuss Mr. Stewart out, that thing he cussed me out. Then Miss Vivian gonna get mad because I cussed Mr. Stewart out for no reason. I cussed Felicia out. Then we all cussing in here.
Mr. James started cussing.
Well, that's just how I'm saying the enemy works. The enemy is cunning. The Bible says he is very cunning. And the Bible says the enemy is almost know everything to get you and push your buttons. We only attack where we weaken. If you don't like cigarettes, the enemy ain't going to mess with you with no cigarettes. But if you try to quit smoking cigarettes, everybody who come up around you, they either smell like smoke, they look like smoke, or they talking about smoke. That's right. Especially Sport Cold Willie. He always smoking. And you've been trying to stop. Because you telling him, look, now don't get in my car with smoking. If I just wind the window down, it's going to be all right. I say, I don't want no smoke. Next thing you know, he got smoke all on his clothes. You ain't smoked in 2 weeks, but his smoke then calls you to like, man, I want a cigarette now. That's how the enemy works. He works where you weaken. He's only going to attack what you like. You know, if you like drugs, trust me, ain't nothing but people who own drugs or people who want to do drugs coming your way. If you like eating, trust me, you trying to stop eating, everybody want to go out to eat. What you doing? Let's go out to eat. I'm cooking something. I ain't want to hear that today because I'm trying to get off of that. You know, if you like alcohol, let so-and-so have a party. You know, bring your own bag. Be vibrant. Bring what you got. And then, even with these people who can't control some of their forces, what is it? You got to go back. Okay, well, go out there, go to my office and do tea. I don't know why. Jump on me. See how the enemy do? Trying to keep Bible, so he come talking about he thirsty. Man, see how the enemy work. Tell you now, you gotta be careful how and when the enemy is working at you. Because that's our enemy. Where he weaken. You know, I feel sorry for people who like porn. I feel sorry for people who have these sexual urges and stuff like that. Because I really believe that sometimes they can't control it and the enemy knows it. You know, for a man to want to be with a little boy or a little girl, that's something that's happening. That's something that's making him desire that and can't fight off. You know, I would think to myself, if I wake up in the morning and have desires for a little girl or a little boy, then I'm in trouble. If I don't go get some help right away, then I'm in trouble because the enemy is going to let me be used in that situation to hurt somebody. And you got to be careful because the enemy will attack us when we are not looking. I don't know that, you know, certain things lead us in certain directions. You know, I like music, but some music, every now and then, I have to stop listening to, unless I'm in a situation. Now, most of the time, I like listening to gospel music, most of the time. But I'm going to be honest now, you know, when me and my wife have an our special moment or we get away, I ain't listening to the rough side of the mountain. I'm come off the mountain now. I'm ready to get in some of that, ooh, that loop. I'm going to get into some of that Marvin Gaye. But it sounds good in the appropriate text. If I'm with my wife and we're experiencing each other, ain't nothing wrong with a little Marvin. Well, if Sport Coat Willie bring Marvin and he ain't yours and you ain't his, that music gonna get you right where Sport Coat Willie wants you. Because he gonna play that, I've been really trying, baby. You gonna be like, oh Lord. What cold Willie, trying to hold back these feelings, but and you gonna be like, what cold Willie? And I said I wasn't gonna see you today, but you gonna be looking good. Miss Peggy the same way. She's the same way. She's gonna play that song that she knows gonna get you where you need to be. So even as we're guarding ourselves, Paul says that we need to take on the shield of faith. You gotta believe in what you believe in. See, me, my faith lets me know what I take in makes me act a certain kind of way. I'm not saying you don't have to, you know, you have to listen to gospel music all the time. But gospel music comes from, most of the time, spiritual uplifting thoughts. If you listen to secular music at the wrong time, it'll cause you to have secular thoughts. I know that ain't none of y'all. But certain songs, if they mention certain things in them, your mind just automatically jump on it. I want to make love, all of a sudden. Can't wait for your wife or husband to get home. That's how you're supposed to be. But if you ain't got that situation, what you think you're going to do? You're going to mess with somebody that ain't yours or somebody, you know, situations like that. And I talk about this situation because that seems to happen more than anything. It's people that we hook up with that will mess our lives up if we're not careful. And like I said, the enemy will get in a person to attack you. Now, me and my wife, we had a discussion, why do we blame everything on the enemy? Because, go to Corinthians first. 5 minutes. Let's go to, you got your Bibles with you. Go to 2 Corinthians, chapter 11 right quick. Chapter 11. Because right now we're talking about the shield of faith. And, you know, we're talking about when you have that shield of faith, it is able to extinguish the darts that the devil will send at you. Because, as I said, yes, the devil does not cause a lot of stuff to happen. He don't cause your washing machine to break down, but he causes your spirit to act a certain way. 2 Corinthians chapter 11. Chapter 11. And I can tell you for sure how I've had to fight the devil. Used to be a situation where when I was married and I was coming closer to the end, but I needed to do the right things in order to purify myself for what God was going to do. And there was this particular woman, Miss Peggy. I was married, but I really didn't need to be messing with Miss Peggy. But Miss Peggy always seemed to know when I was having a bad day. You know, she would even call. I just called to check on her. You did. You love me like that, huh? But she would always call to check on me. It almost seems like at the right time. At the right time, which wasn't the right time, but it would be the right time for the enemy to take advantage of my situation. Just when I had that big argument with my wife, you know, just when we were arguing over something, Miss Peggy on the phone talking about, I just called to check on her. And everybody want to be comfortable. That's how the devil do you. Come here, let me hold you for a minute. Let's walk down here. Let's go on a trip together. I'm gonna make it all right. You know, let's go buy something. Let's go buy these lottery tickets. Because we don't win a lot of money, baby. We're going to be together. You and I. That's how the devil will come at you. So Paul says when he shoots the dot, the devil ain't even got to be in your presence. But he know what you like. He know what you like. Somebody right now, when you leave Bible study, might get on you. Something might get on you because the more you try to ingest and take the word, the more the devil tries to make himself apparent. Okay, let me read this Corinthians here, 2 Corinthians, because we talked about that faith and that fiery God. Paul says in this 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3 through verses number 5. Let me give it to you like this. Paul says, but I'm afraid that just as Eve was deceived by the serpent, Paul says the cunning serpent, your minds may somehow be led astray from your sincere and pure devotion to Christ. That's how he said that. And he said, for if someone comes to you and preaches a Jesus other than the Jesus we preach, or if someone receives a different spirit from the one you receive, or a different gospel from the one you accept, you put up with it easy enough. But I do not think I'm in the least inferior to those super apostles. So that means that Paul is saying that when something comes up against you, it's going to come up against you. He said he is almost afraid that all of us going to be tempted like Eve. All of us are going to be tempted like Eve. Now, every now and then I have to look at the Lord's Prayer. I have to look at the Lord's Prayer because it says that no temptation, lead us not into temptation. But God won't lead us into temptation because he gave us the spirit of the whole armor to know you being tempted. Most people go and fall into that trap because they don't recognize they're being tempted, but not by God. Because everybody can say that they were on their way to doing something, and something came up and said, don't go that way. Everybody can say, something told me not to do it. On the way to Miss Peggy's house, don't go. Now, don't go over there. Next thing you know, you outside. Don't go in there. She just want to talk to me today. She already said she was checking me. Wore a coat with it, same thing. You see him coming. He done called you at 4 o'clock, say he's going to check on you when you get off. Well, you need to tell him at 4 o'clock, don't call me this evening. I'm in Bible study. Well, I just want to come by, I got something for you. I don't need it. Or somebody, an old friend, call you out of the blue. You ain't heard from him in a long time. Child, you remember what we used to do? I forgot about that. But that was good. You know, you remember we used to sit up under the tree and, you know, we smoked weed together? You're like, no, I ain't smoked no weed in a long time. But the enemy jump up in there and say, you know what? You been doing a good job, man. You want to try it again? Coming at you. Paul says, I am afraid that we are easily taken and deceived just like that. Just like that. But he says that you got to put on that helmet. When you got saved, I talked about it on Sunday. Nobody said the road would be easy. even in this text fighting against the enemy, it's not going to be easy. You have to learn to protect yourself, or the devil will, and I don't want to give him credit. You know, Bill Wilson said the devil made me do it. The devil just helps you, because you got a way of walking away if you don't want to. There you go. The choice is yours. But the Bible says that we should take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit. That means whatever you know that got you saved. I talked about Sunday. It was not those joys that saved my life. When I was broken, when I was abandoned, when I was unhappy, those joys did not save my life. Although I had the shoes on that made me look good, my spirit was broken. But God says to me, when you were in your mess, I was the one who got you out. I was the one who saved you. And that's what Jesus was telling the rich young ruler. If you want to continue to live in that life you're living in, that's fine. But if you want to walk with me, you're going to have to think about salvation, because salvation is being saved from the enemy. Because at the end of the day, we are only granted salvation because we believe in Him, and it's an everyday process. Because most of us can't say that we had a perfect day. Every day we done something that probably wasn't pleasing in God's sight. But we can work on it, because if there's 7 days in a week, I always say, at least 2 days of this week, I'm going to try to be as best as I can. So that means I'm going to have to watch you call me. I'm going to have to watch you come around me. I'm going to have to stay in my word. I'm going to have to even watch what I listen to on the radio. I'm going to have to watch who comes by. I'm going to have to watch everything, because if not, I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail, because like I said, even today, I have already planned this was going to be a good day. I got on the highway, and on the enemy on the phone. I don't know what else is going to come today, but I'm ready. I got my guards up, I got my helmet on, I got my breastplate, I know what truth is, and then I'm swinging. Miss Betty better not call me today. She's going to be cussed out. You know, better not nobody call me today with no foolishness. If they don't call me talking the right thing, immediately I'm hanging up. And being honest, I can't take calls from some authority people, because if they say the wrong thing, my spirit might not be right. They call me and ask me for some money, or ask me, do I got it? You know how that goes. Folk ask you for some money. Lord have mercy. So if the bill collector call and it ain't for me, and I'm hang up. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it. Ain't no need to tell me you ain't got it. I say this, ain't no need to both of us worried about it. You know, if I know today I ain't got no money in my pocket, I ain't answering no 1-800. Because that's the bill collector. All my friends, they number start with 704. 1-800, that's the bill collector. 1-886 or 1-866. You know, some of that I ain't got no business answering that, because that's going to mess up my spirit. There you go. You got to protect yourself. And the final thing is, what do you do to protect yourself from the attack? And right there, you got to stand firm. You got to stand firm on what you believe in. Your no has to be no. Your yes has to be yes. The book tells us there somewhere in there that we lukewarm. We ain't even hot nor cold. Whatever the weather is, we blow with the wind. Sometimes you got to put your foot down and say, no matter what, God, today is your day, and I'm not going to let nobody come in between me and you. You got to do that sometimes, because the enemy will find out what days you're weak, and he'll find out what Tuesday may be the best day to attack you. He found out that Sunday might be the better day, but just like Miss Leela said, he know you've been praising, and he ain't going to let you get out of this church without being attacked. That's why I hate to say it. Some days, you might not need to hug everybody. I ain't trying to be mean at that, but some days, you might not need to hug everybody. I've been in situations where I know there were certain people in that church, they were going to call me home. And I did everything I had to do to get away from them. They wasn't getting no hug from me on Sunday. I was going out that back door. Especially Miss Peggy. She want to hug on you real tight. You know I'm talking, telling you the truth? Oh, you preaching, you preached. Go ahead. Nigga, you was slick the whole time. You didn't know what I preached. Now you woke up talking about I preached. I'm going out that way. You know? That's why I say you got to stand firm. First of all, realize what your weaknesses are. You got to be honest with yourself. Whatever you weak to, get yourself out of there. You know, I know I can't go to no parties. You know, my best friend, he loved the party. Other party. But I always tell him, man, don't invite me to no parties. Because Peggy gonna be there, Jose gonna be there. Everything that I love gonna be there. And I ain't got no business going. Don't invite me. You know? I don't care if we celebrating you. Look, me and you are celebrating by ourselves. Because I ain't getting into with that mess. You know? I ain't getting into that. Even sometimes, and I hate to say it, I hope I ain't never. Yeah, she got it on. It's all right. I don't go to a lot of meetings when they're going to make me mad. You know? When I know what they're going to ask me for, why am I going to be frustrated? If you're going to ask me when I get to the meeting for $1,500 and I ain't got it, what I'm going for? Huh? Because my spirit going to be messed up. I'm going to be mad at you. I'm going to be mad at myself. And then I'm going to be mad at somebody. Because you didn't ask me for $1,500 and I ain't got it. You know? No, I don't. What it says, when you know better, you don't put yourself in that situation because you can't beat the devil. We mess up when we try to fight with him. The devil will beat you. If you let Sport Coat Willie in your house, I guarantee you it ain't going to turn out right for you. You talking about be strong.
Be strong.
No. No, it ain't because Sport Coat Willie flips over to Leader Willie. I ain't even going. I ain't got to tell them nothing.
Your obligation.
Obligation, I'll go get you in trouble.
Fight it out.
Play it all. You can. You think you can.
I have confidence in you.
Not me. Don't do that. I got confidence in myself and my God. God already told me ain't nothing gonna come out of it. I ain't got to be there. I don't. If I know I'm going to be frustrated, if I know that I'm honoring God, I ain't honoring no man. Now, as long as I don't keep my position or whatever, but even if I lose my position for holding on to what I believe in, God will take care of me. I'll tell you in a minute. You know, you asked me the question Sunday. Are you going somewhere?
Yeah, I can tell by this.
What I tell you? I know. I won't go for what?
You didn't tell me. I didn't saw.
But I'm saying, right then, I was taking care of myself. Because I know what that meeting was going to be about. I know what they said it was supposed to be about, but I know in turn what it was going to turn into. Yeah. So why I'm going to go there and leave there after we just had a good day in here of preaching and all that, why am I going to move over there and hear something I know is going to upset me? Take all the spirit away from me. Ain't no need of going in there trying to fight it, because if you go in there, the devil says, I got you. You make the first step, the devil got you. You got to protect yourself. This is what Paul said, put on the whole armor of God. Protect yourself. Because the enemy ain't going to protect you. You think that person who knew I was going to be mad was going to care? He was going to say what he wanted to say. He was going to ask for $1,500 anyway. He didn't care if Rev Davis was hurt. He didn't care. His job wasn't, I ain't saying it's evil, but I'm saying when stuff is presented in my spirit, I take care of me. See, because the bishop, the elder, pastor, member, ain't none of them put me nowhere but they can mess me up. Huh? You just said it. People always say, well, you know, I tell people in a minute, I ain't got no heaven or hell to put you into, but the devil sure will send you to hell. And God can give you heaven. And if you're careful, God will protect you. If somebody fire you because you knew you were doing something right, God will make sure you get a new job. You might not come right then, but God will take care of you if you do it for Him. God said, I've never seen the righteous forsaken. I never. Even in the lesson last week, Peter talked about us leaving everything. He said, we done left everything to follow you. And Jesus said, nobody who leaves anything to follow me will be without. It may be tough, but some of the stuff that we without, we don't need it. We don't need it. So at the bottom, there's some commentary there that you can read over. It'll help you. There's some extra scriptures on there that you can match these up. Paul was talking to Timothy. Paul was talking about his experiences in jail. He's talking about all of that. He talks about finally be strong in the Lord, and it tells you about how to be strong. So if you keep this in mind, every day you've got to put your uniform on. When I hit the floor in the morning, before I check my Bank of America, because I used to check Bank of America first, but it seemed like somebody was stealing my money. It did. It seemed like somebody was taking my money, but the bills was taking my money. And the first thing I do, I used to be so nervous about whether I had enough money. Soon as my eyes open, I grab my phone, see how much money was in it. And then, guess what? If it wasn't right, I wasn't right. So now, when I get up, I put my helmet on, I put my chest plate on, I get my feet right. That's the first thing I do. When I hit the, sometimes even before, I'll wake up maybe 4 or 5 and put my stuff on and maybe go back to sleep. So when I get up, I already got it on. Sometimes I don't even take it off, because if I go to sleep at night and have the wrong dream or have the wrong thing, I'll be feeling bad the next day. So we always got to remember, this will keep the enemy at bay. Because if he see you fighting, he'll walk away. The Bible says, resist and he will flee. Tell Sport Coach Willie at 4, you might have to tell him again at 5. You might have to tell him again at 6. But I promise you, by 7 o'clock, you'll be at peace. If my friend keep asking me, man, let's do this weekend, man, I ain't gonna do it. Man, come on. Do this for me. That's what he'll say. I'm your boy. Man, you ain't gonna hang out with me? I can't do it, man. I can't do it. Tell him 2 times. All right, man, I understand. Do you? So don't ask me again. Stand firm. Stand firm. Let's close it out with prayer. And we're going to try to stand firm, because if we stand on what we know, ain't nothing can stop us. And don't ever fight the enemy in this business, because you can't win. The fight to get away from it. Because there's people have died saying they were going to fight against the enemy. It's people who are in prison right now who said they were going to fight against the enemy. And I think I told y'all on that night that I was going to kill or shoot at least my ex-wife and my whole family. If I would have told the enemy yes, he was going to get me. But I surrendered to God. That's why it says, I surrender all. I surrender all to God, my Savior. Because He's the only one can keep the enemy from killing you. But if you fight the enemy, he will destroy you. Trust me. Now, like I said, some of y'all, most of y'all younger than me, so you might not have been in as many fights as I have. But I've gotten away by the hairs on my chin. And I've learned that I won't go back to that no more. You know, even last night, we're going to get out of here. I was home by myself. I don't know, spirit was crazy. And I said, I ain't getting out no candy. I ain't getting out no candy. I ain't be bothered with that. But God said to me, guess what? Get that candy out, because it's going to ease your mind. That's going to give you something to do. You're going to be going to that door every 3 minutes. And you ain't going to be worried about what you was thinking about. You know, you see what I'm saying? Idle mind is what? The devil's who? Huh? So when you sitting there and thinking about nothing, grab God's word. Because the enemy thinking too, what's she thinking about? Oh, she ain't thinking about nothing. You know? So that's what guarding your heart and being ready. Because even last night I was saying, if I sit here by myself and be thinking negative or be thinking this, the enemy gonna get you. So God said, get you some candy and give it out. I went and got me some candy, turned my porch light on, and sure enough, before you know it, it was 9 o'clock and my family was coming through the door. God took care of me. Took care of me. Because I gave it over to him. I wasn't going to try to sit there and say, nah, I'm just sitting there and just talk to myself. You know? Because ain't no telling what might happen. Somebody Miss Peggy might have come. And just because I'm married and all that, I know Miss Peggy's out there. Huh? Come on, Miss Lily, tell her. It don't bother you if you don't like Miss Peggy, you know. Miss Peggy don't bother no man who don't want to be bothered with Miss Peggy. You know, sport coat don't bother no woman who, you know, who made up in her mind, she, you know, that's what she do. But if you that woman still giving this Mr. Sport coat a chance, he coming every time. You notice the relationship be 17 years old. You're like, you still messing with him? Child, I've been trying. He ain't trying to stop it. She ain't trying to stop it. Because guess what? For 17 years, he been destroying me. For 17 years, cigarettes, marijuana, liquor, whatever has been destroying me. And you keep saying, I'm all right. I'm all right. You ain't all right. You ain't all right. Let us close with a prayer. We're going to pray together. Protection from our hearts and minds are clear. Let us. Father, we are deeply challenged. We know that we have to put in effort, God. And with that being said, God, allow us and help us to wear that full armor. That whenever the enemy attacks us, God, first of all, let us recognize that it's him. And then let us know, God, that nothing should separate us from your love. And also remind us that we are protected on every side, God, from whatever the enemy tries to do. So right now, these that are gathered here, God, I pray a special blessing, a special hedge of protection around them, God, whatever weapons that try to prosper. Because we know that the enemy is going to come, but when he do, God, I pray that you will not allow him to prosper. So right now, in Jesus' name, God, I pray that you will protect us, lead us, and guide us to that next higher level, God, that we may know better. We may be able to watch and be careful. So right now, God, I pray that you allow us to go and be safe in our travels, until we see each other's face again. For it is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 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 And we got our fresh fruits and vegetables today. So whatever you want to get them. We got some. I got some bag of pinto beans, some apples, some grapes, some carrots, some more kale, apples, Miss Leland's banana she likes.